Hi, Eclectic Crafter here. So remember when I said that we would use that Mickey Mouse laminate for something? Yeah, finally got done with my son's project he needed me to create. And now I am ready to attempt this. All right, the project is thread mode embroideries. It's a wallet and it opens up. Inside it has slots. It's considered a credit card wallet, but I have every intention of using it as a regular wallet. She gives very detailed instructions. Her videos are also very good. You might want to look her up. And this is what it will look like, hopefully, when I'm done. I was planning, that is the one I was planning on making with the snap over and the hook. And I'm going to do it out of laminated fabric. Okay, this is done stitching. We're going to take this out. It's really important you read the directions to refresh your memory, no matter how many times you read them or watched the video, because I turned around and put the whole thing down, and I wasn't supposed to until I did just this stitch. You're supposed to do the outline stitch for placement. Then you put your fabric down. And if you're wanting, see, the fabric actually goes, let's see. Okay, run the placement stitches on the stabilizer. On the front of the hoop, cover the placement stitches with a piece of vinyl, right side facing up, which is what I did do. But she goes on to say, in the first part, do not run this first placement stitch on the actual vinyl. It will not line up nicely with the final beam stitching. So I have to sit here and take all of this out. My own fault. So I'll be back. Okay. Undid the mistake I made. Now, she did say in her video, she pulls the thread, apple cores can be very sharp. I have the kind that you do this, and it's upside down in the drawer, and I put my whole, whatever, ignore it. She pulls her thread and does a lot of her stitches, like this outline one, I believe she did without a thread. This also, right here, these guidelines, she pulled the thread. Those are your cutting lines. And so it didn't need thread anyways. I went ahead and left it in. My eyes aren't the greatest, so we'll leave that in. Okay, run the V, did that. Run the outside, yep, did that. Now, in her picture, she shows it real well of what the stitching would look like with thread. The stitching is done. Remove the flat piece from the hoop and cut out around the placement stitching, leaving material. So right outside of those dotted lines, I will cut, and I will be back. Okay, I've got them all trimmed out, and I have a habit of sealing my edges with a lighter. I wouldn't recommend it. It's cotton fabric I use, duh. I'm still going to finish out this project because I want to see it done. Worst that'll happen is I'll have one little corner that I'll go over it with some matching nail polish or something. I'll cover it up. It will work out all the same. But these are done. And it's time to go off for the next one. Let's do our next placement. Okay. Now, this time I'm not going to make the mistake of not running my placement first. It says run the first placement stitches on the stabilizer. And it shows 2 of them. So, that's what I'm going to do. We'll make sure it's in the hoop. Always a smart thing to do. My machine doesn't do just a whole circle, or if it does, I haven't figured out how. It wasn't in the book. You just touch each corner, and then it'll touch the center. Kind of cool. All right. Stuck. Okay. So I put that down. And now it says this is the time to, if you want to add a design, which I did. I want to go all the way to this. So I've punched my little holes. I've got this little thingy. And I punched my holes. And where those little stitch marks were, I punched a tiny little hole. This is for the snap. Now, your snap has a male and a female, or an innie and an outie. How's that? So this is the female, which would be the innie. That goes on the tab part. The male part, which is the outie, and I don't know if you can see that. That goes down here. So that actually goes on the front. And I'm just using those little plastic snaps. They actually are very strong. And I have so many colors of them. That one's on. Now you want to make sure, see, that is on the inside. This will have to be on the outside. So I always double check because, yeah, been there and done that numerous times. And there's my innie. So when I close it, it will snap. Now, I've not placed a rivet before, so a little kit I bought online. It even comes with a cutter, but I have my own cutter, so I just use that. All right. And she recommends, I decided not to go with the clip. I'm going to go with this because I'm going to make it again correctly for her. And now that's the inside. And if anything's going to screw up, it's probably going to be the inside. So I'm sorry, I'm not even in the camera. It needs a laser disc thing. You know, a little laser beam that tells me, keep your hands here. Okay, so I'm slipping that in from the right side, we'll call it. So that's the long part. I grabbed a tiny little one. She had recommended at least 12 millimeter, but she's using vinyl. Vinyl's thicker. I'm using, yeah, I know it's a jumbled mess, but they won't fit in the holes. That's why they had thrown them in the middle, and I tried to sort them and made a bigger mess. All right, so it's supposed to fit down there. Fit the little rounded end on there. This is just a tack hammer from when I used to do upholstery when I was very young. Back when people actually had upholstery done. My stepmother had an upholstery shop and we all had to learn how to do it to help. I'm a big, firm believer in double check. Double check. Okay, so now I know that these bend, so next time I'm going to put a little piece of felt in there. I will pad it just slightly and hopefully eliminate those bends. Not that most people would care, but you're talking. I am a woman that just spent 3 days redoing a patch over and over again. I watched this guy online. Took me an hour. Really? An hour? Because I once spent 6 months on a set of 5 little fuzzy looking things. Yeah, 3 days. I stitched it out about 15 times. Even once I was happy with it, I stitched it a second time to double check. Yeah, so I might be extremely picky. Like this design I'm going to bring in. And I'm going to thicken that up because that is not good. I don't like that. It is sufficient. Most people will go, oh, how nice. But it's not. It's still not right. Okay. But the conclusion is, yes, I was able to make a little wallet with the cute little fabric and the laminate on it. But, you see? I mean, this is not something I would make to sell. No. I would use vinyl. And the reason I had wanted to use this over the fabric was because, you know, your hands are all over it, your hands get dirty, you pull it out, and your fabric looks like caca. You can wash it, but it's just not as nice looking in the fabric without some kind of a coating. So I'm probably going to keep searching for a better way to coat the fabric. It would probably work doing some things, but when you have unfinished edges like this, no. So if it was a project that had maybe binding sewn all around it, that would be great. And, you know, we know from my burnt edge right there that we can't just take a lighter and carefully go over the edges because it's cotton. Rayon would melt. You could use a rayon or polyester in there. But the pattern works. Let's get a card. Okay. So, you know, in the mail, they send you crap with the little plastic cards in them. Yeah, I save them to scrape glue and such. Wipe them off a few times, but I never worry about if I have to throw it away. Oh, I forgot to take the tape off. It's see-through. Next time, I'm using a tape I can see. Okay. It's not all off, but close enough for now. So here are, I got 3 cards in there. No problem. I could probably fit more. So that's 3 cards on one side. And I can tuck my money, fold my bills over on this side. But it works. I love that pattern. I'm going to have to go buy me some vinyl now. Thank you very much. I will. Her site is Thread Mode. She's on Etsy. So you can do a search for Thread Mode embroidery. See? Etsy shop. And I will go to the site and pull the link for this and post it below. But yeah, that works. That works great. I love that. Your design for the top, you don't want it to be any... Okay, and any design you're going to put on the top, you only have, let's get to the edge, 3 5/8 from this stitch line to that stitch line. But here, see, you want to stop farther up, I think. So I would not go more than 2 3/8 in depth, you know, in height of the design. And of course, you can always turn it and go this way because it is going to hang like this. So you could always have it long ways. I just automatically think, snap, that's it. You know, now I'm looking at it. But thank you, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.